You are now listening to Undrafted GM with your host, Lo.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Undrafted GM, your favorite football everything program. I appreciate anybody that's tuning in. We're going to do the show a little non-traditionally today. We just got a lot going on, a lot that we're trying to work for with. The NFL is so busy right now. I could spend hours and hours sitting here just talking. You guys probably know this at this point, but from here moving forward, we do have upcoming our official Undrafted GM mock draft. Okay, that will be released a week from today, that Friday. Okay, I'm gonna release it before the show. I'm gonna release it out on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm gonna put that on Say What You Will Radio and put that on my personal. Also put that on @undrafted_GM on Instagram. That way, what I want to do is I want to make sure anybody that has any comments, concerns, anything that they argue, they like, don't like, I want to talk about that on the show. So I want to put that out ahead of time, but that will be released. I want to say that's like the 2nd. I'm not 100% what day that is, but I'm going to go ahead and release that next Friday, a week from today. So that my official first round mock will be out then. But big news on that front, really big news. Okay. And you guys have all seen it at this point. It's been pumped through media all day, but I want to address it. The Dolphins traded back, right? But more importantly, the Niners traded up. How often do we see trade ups before the draft anymore? Usually it's a game day, draft day decision. Usually they're in the war rooms discussing that last minute. But what a massive, massive trade. The 49ers jumped all the way up to number 3. Okay, the Dolphins traded way back to 12, where the Niners were. And then immediately preceding that, okay, there was announcements about the Eagles and the Dolphins switching. So the Dolphins went back up to 6, and the Eagles dropped down to 12. Incredible, just incredible stuff. That's really big stuff considering we're this close to the draft, but it's more incredible considering this is stuff that happened beforehand. I mean, how often do you see these type of trades? Like I said before, usually this is something that's a decision they sit on and sit on and sit on. But so what that indicates to me is the 49ers are not shy about what they're going after. Everybody's been talking about it today. We know pretty much at this point, like why they would trade up, right? They're there for one of the 3 quarterbacks. Now, no one in their right mind thinks Trevor Lawrence will go anywhere but 1. I don't know a single person that would take anyone over him, especially being Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the team that you would be, like Trevor just fits what they're trying to do. Like you have Gardner Minshew that can kind of help, get him into the offense ready to go. Like that's just the situation where he needs to go. Urban Meyer, the whole thing, right? Trevor Lawrence will be number 1 on my mock draft. Spoiler alert. Not really a spoiler for anyone. Number 2 is where the water gets murky and like the Jets could literally do anything they wanted to do, which is a great position for them to be in right now. They're the ones that aren't showing their cards because they know that they wield the power right now. But the Niners, they just laid it all out there, right? They're like, this is what we want. This is what we're going to get. They're going to get a quarterback. Say bye, Jimmy G. And not necessarily this year. Let me clarify that. He may be there for the rest of this year. They may believe thoroughly they're going to get a good year out of him because he knows he's going to be moved regardless. And they're going to go out and get some young kid, a Trey Lance, Justin Fields, a Zach Wilson. It doesn't really matter. They know they're getting one of the 4 quarterbacks. Now, what's funny is this past month, Trey Lance from North Dakota State has gone from kind of like a middle of the first round, maybe even late of the first round, all the way up to the beginning of the first. They're talking about him at 3rd overall to the Niners. They're talking about him in that top 5. Like, I'll be honest, I think the place he fits best is the Panthers, me personally at 11. San Fran, though, if they love him enough, if they want to get away from everything that Jimmy Garoppolo is in a non-mobile statue quarterback, Trey Lance is your guy. That's your guy who's going to, run it out for you. That's your guy who's going to be in that physical. I don't think it's a terrible move for him. I just think it's terrible at 3. I don't see a reason Justin Fields shouldn't be on the table at that point. Me personally, I don't think Zach Wilson's the second best quarterback. I think he's the third. I think it's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and then Trey Lance. Zach Wilson's pro day was insane. If you guys haven't seen some of those throws he made from a pro day, you need to, just because of it's Patrick Mahomes through and through. And I'm not saying that he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes has now influenced an entire younger generation of quarterbacks. And I mean, this is quarterbacks that are getting drafted 3 years, 4 years later than him. Zach Wilson was making throws on the run down the field. Like they're trying to prove that everybody's out to prove that they can be Mahomes, right? What's a bigger compliment than, imitation? That's a most sincere form of flattery. And some of Zach Wilson's throws were very Mahomes-like. Again, not saying that's what he is. It's not that I don't think he has the talent to be that. I don't know if his body is set up that way, right? A little bit shorter, definitely skinnier. It's going to be very interesting to see what situation and what scheme he lands in. I think the Jets, if the Jets decide they want a quarterback, it's going to be Zach Wilson, period. I don't think they're in love enough with Justin Fields. I don't think that they're in love enough with, I don't think they're even considering Trey Lance. But me personally, if I'm them, I'm going to get Justin Fields. I think just his character, his acumen, his skill set, that's just, it fits them. But I know the Jets organization, based on how much they've shown us, they love Zach Wilson. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on, is now that the trade up is there, what kind of information is going to come out about it? What up, Kyle? Nice to see you, big bro. So it's going to be very, very interesting. By the way, Kyle, that just reminded me, if you guys are watching this right now, do me a favor. Okay. If you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and jump on over to our YouTube channel, which is just Undrafted GM. Please hit that subscribe button. Here, we don't know exactly when, but Say What You Will Radio Network as a whole, we're going to try to transition to YouTube. We think that's just going to be one of the moves for us moving forward for the network. And so we want to continue to be able to grow. So especially making sure, anybody that's viewing this show right now, I don't even care if you jump off and go and do it now, jump on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, but please try to watch our show from there from now on. We will be cross streaming on both of them. We are live right now on YouTube as well. But yeah, so as far as the Dolphins, man, they said exactly the opposite of the Niners. They're like, we're good. I think that's a big testament to what they believe in Tua. I think that's actually a polar opposite of everything else that's come out, right? And what a better vote of confidence of, hey, there's 4 decent quarterback prospects, and we don't really care about any of them. We're going to move back. Because moving back, no, it doesn't guarantee that they don't have a shot at any of them. But let's be honest. There's 2 that they think they might have a shot at. It's Trey Lance and Justin Fields, right? Because with all these Zach Wilson rumors of him going 2 overall, it's not a situation where they think guaranteed where they're moving back to makes them quarterback eligible. I'm telling you right now, them going back to 6, hello, Devonta Smith. Hello, Jamar Chase. They're in that type of territory. It's receiver territory. They know what their needs are. They want to get a number 2 for Devontae Parker, and then there's no excuses. Maybe even Kyle Pitts. I don't think he falls that far. Honestly, if I'm the Jets, I'm keeping Sam Darnold and taking Pitts. That's just me personally. But yeah, this is really a big trade in terms of, not only resetting the structure, but this pushes some guys that normally were in that top 5 discussion down to even the 10s and 15, 20 range. Like, it's a pretty far drop, because if you don't need a quarterback at this point, our top 4 teams could all take them, right? Guaranteed top 4 quarterbacks go right off the board back to back. They could go all 4 back to back if they wanted to. And then, at 5 is when you're going to start getting your defensive studs, your Devonta Smith, your Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain's going to be there just under 10, I believe. I want to say Denver. That's Denver, Dallas is that kind of range where he's going to wind up. So it's going to be really interesting as far as those prospects. But this is a big move for everything quarterback situation as far as free agency. No, this doesn't mean anything about Jimmy G going to New England, right? As much as I thought that was a fit before, they committed to Cam. Bill Belichick doubled down on that, him re-signing him. If he thought Jimmy G was a possibility, which he would have known, this never would have happened. This is big for, a number of reasons. Chicago, they committed this weekend to Andy Dalton, QB1. They even made the post. I get it. Wrong move. Okay. There's so many ramifications, but we're going to take a real big deep dive. Next week is going to be a special show. Okay. It's going to be our mock draft special. It's going to be one of our NFL draft specials. So it might even be a little bit of a longer show, but we're going to try to have somebody come on and co-host with us, talk a little bit more through that because we really want to analyze some more about the draft. Want to talk some more about, that mock draft in particular, where I think some of these prospects fit, because I do think there's some the way that this draft order falls, I think lined up with the talent, best player available, I think a lot more of the best player available is also going to fit the team that they fall to. So it's really going to be interesting to watch that. It's really going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, but we are going to release our mock draft. If you're curious how I'm releasing it, okay, there's a website. You can go to walterfootball.com. Unfortunately, they are not a sponsor or anything of Undrafted GM, but that is a site I've used frequently. You can go and check them out. I wouldn't give them a free shout out if it wasn't for the fact that I'm using their platform to do that. So it's a pretty easy one if you're a mock draft guy like me. You can also go to Fanspeak. They have an app called On the Clock, which is a draft simulator, which is actually a pretty cool tool. So definitely go and check those out. But I'm going to release that official mock draft next week. So you want to make sure you stay tuned in for that. As far as the Deshaun Watson thing, we touched base on that a lot last week. As far as updates, there's been more people to come forward. We don't know still if it's serious or not. We don't really know if, honestly, if any of it's true. I really don't think so, but that's just me. Who knows? So definitely going to be, again, something we're going to keep tabs on. We're going to update. But yeah, so please be prepared for next week. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be the same time. I do want to give a quick shout out to the AZ CFL. They are now going into their 5th week. So you're going to want to go to azcfl.com, check out those updated standings, check out those updated stats, check out the updated schedule for this weekend. The games are tomorrow on Saturday, mostly at Yonkers High School and Cortez High School in Phoenix and in Buckeye. So you want to go and check those games out. And then from there, we also want to give a big shout out to Mythical Beards, huge supporter of the network. We want to give a shout out to the Espinoza Group and all these people you can find on saywhatyoulradio.com, our sponsors tab, Nut Tree Designs Company. We have a fantastic group of sponsors. Be sure to go and check them out. But like I said, I'm keeping this real short and sweet this week. Okay. If you guys have different comments, you've different thoughts, get in touch with me on Instagram, share them with me. If you have different mock drafts and things like that, send them to me. I'd love to discuss them with you. If you'd love to come on the show and talk about that, I'll do that with you as well. But until next week, like I said, get your mock drafts ready. At least round 1, I'm probably going to do. Maybe in a round 2, I'm debating. But until then, it's been real. I appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you guys. See you then.